And the live transcript is live. So I beat you to it this time, Mark.
Good man.
So good morning, everybody. Oops, give me just a second here. Okay, so want to welcome you all again to another installment of our task force. Great to see you all, as always. For those of you who might be able to see me, you should see the other guy who was actually an oral surgeon. So I'm still recovering from my surgery last week. So if I sound a little Daffy Duck, please bear with me. So jumping in this morning, first of all, we do have several new people this morning. So I'd like you to introduce yourselves, please. Let's see, Ginger, you want to tell people who you are, please?
Absolutely. My name is Ginger Lane and I'm with Communications Workers of America. It's nice to meet you all.
You bet. And we had a couple of other people.
I can go. I'm Megan Hammond with the Arizona State Library and the new Library Development Administrator.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else who's new to us today? Well, Will McCullen, good to see you. Okay, so moving on, just quickly, as always, like to thank our sponsors, Care First Health Plan, Valley of the Sun United Way, Satellite Broadcasting Communications Association, Khajiit, and Triad Wireless. And we are in need of new sponsors. So if any of you are interested, I'm going to be sending out an email to all of you in the next week or so, and really need your help in finding some new sponsors. So moving on, and just a reminder that we will do our kibitzing with colleagues after this meeting. For those of you who don't know what that is, that after the meeting, we turn off the recording and everything, and we just have a chance for people who want to chat, to share information, ask questions, look for help or whatever. And that might be 5 minutes, it might be an hour, depending on what people have to say at that meeting. Just a reminder also that I am using the Otter transcription service to capture our transcript. It is not perfect. It's better than what we were using with Zoom, but it still leaves much to be desired. But anyway, that's what we got. I want to remind you that if you have any announcements, events coming up, anything that you want to share with people, please put it in the chat or send me an email. I try to, after the meeting, as you know, I send out a follow-up to the meeting, and it's really helpful to me if I have the link, the description, anything, you know, a short paragraph or two that you would like to share with people. It just makes my life a lot easier and I can get it done a lot quicker and make sure that I capture everybody's comments. So, so I want to talk a little bit about our meeting today. We're going to do, as we have a couple of times in the past, instead of a presentation, we're going to do our lightning round introductions. And I'm going to be asking 4 or 5 of you. I'm going to pick on you unless you volunteer to just take 3 or 4 minutes to share who you are, what you do. If you're looking for help or you have resources that you'd like to share with others, this is a good time to do that. We have many, many people, including a number of new people who are participating in the task force, and we don't really know who's doing what to who. So that's what this meeting's going to be about later this morning. But I did want to say a couple of things. After the presentation, at the presentation last week from Reggie with TEALS, there was a huge amount of interest in what he's doing and people looking to partner with him. And we could have gone on. We started late with his presentation, but we could have gone on for quite a while. And we did actually. And so that really what kind of prompted me. And then I had a great conversation, and Aaron, I'm going to ask you a little later to just talk a little bit about what you're doing. had a great conversation with Aaron Ball, and he's doing some great stuff that I think many of you are going to be interested in learning more about what Aaron's doing and how you might be able to partner with him and many others. So anyway, that's what the meeting's going to look like a little later today. And then moving on, just some quick announcements. September 13th is the annual Arizona Technology Summit at the Phoenix Convention Center. Free admission with the code. They do not encourage everybody to attend. It's really targeted to particularly to IT security people. A lot of the focus of that event is going to be on security. If you are interested, I will try to get the code to you a little later this morning. I've attended in the past. We've had tables in the past, but I'm not going to do that this year. Moving on, Carla, are you online? I didn't get a chance to look. Carla, are you online this morning? She is not. Well, a couple of Arizona technology things that are coming up on October the 19th, the Arizona Technology Council 10th Annual Southern Arizona Tech Business Expo is going to be happening. And I don't know, Mark, if you or Kirk or either of you guys want to say anything more about that. It's really not your thing, but. John? Okay, anybody have anything to say about that? Again, all of these events are that there's links to all of these events in the email announcement that I sent for this meeting and will be included after this meeting. So just a reminder about that. And then coming up on the 8th, which is pretty quickly, is the Tech Council's 6th Annual Smart City and IoT Conference. And Kirk, I know you and Mark have something to say about that.
Mark?
Are you there? You're on the program committee for that.
Yes, it's a half-day event. It's starting at noonish, ending at 6-ish. We big push on announcing the new Tech Council Electric Vehicle and Infrastructure Committee. They're one of the first panels. My buddy Chris Lucero at Intel, the Director of IoT Emerging Technology at Intel, will be moderating that panel. And then we have all the smart city folks and the municipalities doing their panel. And then we've got a special session with Arizona Commerce Authority and the Department of Energy. So it should be quite interesting, and hope to see a bunch of you there. And we've got a code too available if people want it for a discount.
Yeah, so I'll include that in the email today, and I actually encourage you all to attend. I will actually be there live and in person, and would love to see many or all of you on that day.
Did Carla get you? Did Carla get you any table space?
I don't think so. I don't think we've done that yet. She did count me for the for attendance, though. I'll have to follow up with her. She's been really busy. She had a death in the family, and so she got a little behind with some things. Okay, moving on. So Cindy, are you online this morning?
Yes, I am.
So you want to talk about the literacy forum that you got coming up for Pima County on October 4th?
Sure. Yeah. So on October 4th, during the 6th Annual National Digital Inclusion Week, we are doing in Tucson, we're doing a 2-hour digital literacy forum, so that people can kind of explore what digital literacy means and why it's important to our communities and the health of our communities, both physical, economic, all that. So we have saved the dates out. We don't have the official announcement or registration link yet, but we're working on that. And yeah, so that's that one.
Okay. And then Cindy, we also have, I believe, September the 8th is the next Digital Inclusion Network Practitioners meeting.
Yes, I guess that would be true. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll send you information about that. And Sharika, one more time about your party coming up. or your fundraiser?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Yes, on September 9th, the Adult STEM Party to come out, have a great time, build a car, then race it and see who's the better tech. At the Arizona Science Center on Friday the 9th from 6 to 8. Get your tickets because there is a limited capacity. Thank you.
Okay, and again, the link about that is also in our notices. Didn't see Janet, are you on this morning? Okay, well, Janet has two great funding events coming up on the September the 13th, funding for your telehealth initiatives, and September the 8th. Oh, no, I'm sorry, excuse me. And August the 30th, which is tomorrow, telehealth and broadband funding resources webinar. So again, those are some great events that are coming up. Anybody have any others that I need to know about? Going once, going twice. So Mark, where are you with the Tech Council Public Policy Guide?
Sure. Thanks, Steve. I'm struggling to finish some edits on the broadband. I've submitted my artificial intelligence and financial technology sections. I did get some input from John Kelly from this group and from your friend Alex Rodriguez down in Tucson, but nothing else. So forging ahead with some updates relative to federal programs and a little bit more emphasis on digital equity, almost there. So,
Okay. Well, Mark, so I have to apologize that I've been delinquent. If it's not too late, I will try to get you something today. Okay.
It's not. I am shooting for the next day or two. So today would yet be fruitful. Thank you.
Great. I will get that to you today.
Yeah,
So-
hey, Mark, oh, excuse me.
Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, I was just gonna offer, Mark, I'm sorry, I did not see that, but if you want some input, I'm happy to review.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And Holly, later, anything new on the digital inclusion library consultant search?
No, I think we did actually get a couple applications last week, and I just wanted to say further about Megan, who introduced herself. Megan is our new library development administrator. Jamie Ball, who had been the library development administrator, is now working full-time with grants administration, and Nicole's position reports to Megan. So Megan will be working on that search for a qualified candidate for the digital inclusion consultant.
Okay.
And in the meantime, Cindy's doing an excellent job of keeping the Connect Arizona and the digital navigators moving forward.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. You're doing great work as always. Don't think Jeff is online this morning. Jeff, are you here today? Sandeep, I don't believe you're online either. So moving on to the State Library, Mala.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone. Just reporting on E-rate, we had 19 waves funded so far. E-rate funding happens in waves, one every week. Arizona had applied for over 100,000, and we've been funded so far for about 100 million, and we've been funded for 55 million so far. It is going a little slow for Arizona, but overall, nationally, E-rates, the funding for the E-rate applications is going at a pretty steady pace. This last week, Senator Marsha Blackburn and the FCC chairperson Carr requested USAC to be a little more strict about the SIPA compliance. They wanted all of the SIPA compliance is the Children's Internet Protection Act, And USAC is pretty strict about it with schools. Schools have to comply. Libraries too have to comply. But of late, what has been happening is that the ECF funded devices have not really been complying. And these devices go home to the students and to the patrons. The devices that stay in the library and the devices that stay in schools they have been compliant all these years, but it hasn't been strictly enforced, I guess, because there have been complaints about it. And they did a survey, and that's the result of the survey was this letter from Senator Marsha Blackburn to Radha Shekhar of the CEO of USAC. So we need to look at how this is going to be implemented, both for the library devices that go home to the patrons, as well as the devices from school that are going to the school students. So the next thing on E-rate is that they released USAC released the eligible services list for 2023-24, and it's much of the same. We hoped that they would include something for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is so essential, but it has not been funded so far. And there's been lots of complaints about it, lots of grumblings, lots of requests, several years, for the past several years, and it still has not been addressed in the funding. So the eligible services list comes out once a year. Around this time, the draft eligible services comes out, and by November, that is finalized. We are now in the comments period, and of course, there are going to be comments on the non-inclusion of cybersecurity. As I mentioned
Mala?
last time,
I'm sorry, Mala, is there a way for people to provide input on that, into that process still,
Yes,
particularly regarding
yes,
cybersecurity?
yes. So comments are due before September 21st, and reply comments by October 6th. And I will put in the chat the link to where the comments can be submitted. They can be submitted individually by each applicant. They can be submitted as a group. Shelby is going to comment on it as a group. ALA is going to comment on it as a group. But there is a place for the comment period is on right now till September 21st.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And the bidding restrictions, have been commented upon by the Department of Justice. This was that the E-rate bidding process so far has been left to each applicant to follow the rules. But now USAC is going to, FCC has recommended that USAC create a space online for the bids to be put, and for the bidding matrix, that is how you're selecting, who you're selecting, also be made public. And they assume that it is because, we assume that it is because they thought that there was fraud and abuse in the program, but it's hardly 1 to 2%. So it's not worth all the changes that are going to be made, and we commented about it. The Department of Justice seems to favor it, so I'm not sure quite what's going to happen, but so far they haven't said anything about it for 2023-24, which is the application period that is now going to be open. ECF has support. They had 42 million in ECF support was committed on August 24th. So to date, about 5.7 billion has been committed out of the 7.1 billion that has been approved for this. So there's still commitments being made for the third window of applications that were made last October. Affordable Connectivity Act, the ACP program, we now have 291,000 households that have signed up as of August 21st. The signing is going on as, at the same pace as which it was going so far. about 3,000 to 4,000 every week. The updated tracker, I can put the link in the chat so you can see it for yourself. It is broken down also by county, but by the zip code, if you look, you can only see partial zip codes. So you really can't track it by zip code really clearly, really to the zip code. Pima Connect, I don't know if Michelle Simon is here. I didn't check. Are you there, Michelle?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so Michelle will comment on Pima Connect, I guess. Janet, I was hoping Janet is going to join, but she is not here. But we are working really hard on dotting the T's and dotting the I's and dashing the T's for our event on the first Saturday in October. That's October 3rd, I think. Yeah. The pilot program is going to happen at the opening launch is going to happen at Aravaca Library. We have this Aravaca Schoolhouse that has been booked for that space, plenty of parking. We are planning to have a health screening there, but there's going to be lots more activity going on. It's really going to be a fun event. And we're inviting every single person in Aravaca, as well as in the neighboring places to attend. The Pima County Health Services will have their nurses there and student nurses from U of A. The equipment has been tested out. We are going to have 4 sets of equipment, so 4 tables to do the screening. We're working with Lions to get the eye testing done as well for the students. I mean, for students and parents, anyone practically who wants to get an eye test done can go in and get it done. Of course, all these are only recommendations to go see an eye doctor. It's not like diagnosing that you have to wear glasses or you have to do this or that. It's the same with the health screening as well. You just know that you have your pressure needs attention or something. Unless anyone has any other questions, back to you, Steve.
Okay, any questions or comments before we move on? Okay. Let's move to the Arizona Department of Education. Excuse me, Sophia, do you have anything? You online this morning? So Kelly, I believe Mylan's not. Shelby, do you have anything? I'm going to want to hear from you a little bit later, but do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good. I think Mala covered the E-rate stuff. So no, I'm good today. Thank you.
Okay. And then Kelly, I know you are online and would love to hear from you, please.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. My name is Kelly. I work in the Office of Digital Teaching and Learning for the Arizona Department of Education. And I guess I'll follow up quickly. Mala had mentioned the cybersecurity, and we know that this is an expensive and complex problem. And I think John Kelly had put in a link to the Arizona Department of Homeland Security. They do have a grant that is available. I'm going to put another link in there. And this is for schools. So this grant that they have available, the local and tribal government grant, provides 5 tools for cybersecurity. And that is expanded to include public schools, K-12s throughout the state. So I've spoken about this before. I don't mean to be repetitive, but it is a great resource. And what it does is it gives schools access to a 1-year license to those 5 tools. So there is no exchange of funding. It's just direct access to those tools, and it's 5 tools, and that website I just plugged in there will list out those 5 tools and the process for that. This is administered by the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Administration. The Department of Education is trying to promote it and get the details out to schools. And we've had, I think, almost 100 schools apply. There is no deadline to apply. I think the sooner the better, because you get access to those tools. But there is no deadline. It's a rolling admission or application process. And the Department of Homeland Security is confident that they will have funding for this to last about 3 to 5 years. So it isn't just 1 year and then what do we do next? We know that funding is a major issue for schools, and sustaining technology and maintaining that student data privacy is really challenging and really expensive. So this is possibly a 3 to 5 year assistance tool that's available. So that's out there. And then the other thing from our office, which I've mentioned before, is that student data privacy project that we launched. And this is providing 20 schools who have applied. I'll put that link in the chat when I'm done talking. And this is access to One Ed Tech, which it's an affiliate membership to this consortium that is a vetting tool. So for all of the online applications that are used in the classroom, they're great. They really help teachers, but there's a lot of fine print, and the terms and conditions regarding that student data privacy changes every year. And schools don't always have the resources to keep up on what that terminology is and what those terms and conditions are, because they change and it can be a little shady sometimes. So this is a project that we are launching to see, is this worthwhile? Is this helpful? This online tool helps to do that vetting and validating to help free up resources at schools who are really just trying to keep their heads above water. So I'll plug the link for that into the chat as well. And I think that's it from me.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Kelly?
Just one quick question. Kelly, that link that you put in the chat, I was just looking at it. Are the funds available for libraries as well, for public libraries?
Yes, I do believe libraries are included in that. And Mala, what I'll do is I will dig through my email. I think I have an email where somebody else had asked that. So I will follow up with you because I'm fairly confident, but I'm not quite sure. So let me dig through that right now and then I'll send an email, but I'll also plug that in the chat since I just told 37 people that the answer is yes. I just want to confirm that.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, no
Really
problem.
appreciate that. Mhm.
Sure thing.
Okay, any other questions for Kelly? Department of Ed's doing some great stuff. Thank you, Kelly, for all your hard work. Derek, I think I saw you online this morning. You still here?
I am here, Steve. I don't think I have any updates post our update last week, so I think we're good today.
And so if I remember correctly, you're working on becoming a 501c3. Is that I
That's correct.
understand?
Yep.
And if I put you on the spot and you don't want to discuss it right now, that's fine. But I know you and I had some conversation that I believe you're having some conversation with the Final Mile folks about some kind of collaboration. Can you talk about that or not?
Yeah, I mean, we're just brainstorming about how we might take the ideas built into the Final Mile project and really add some scope and scale. So still having good conversations about that with Wes and crew.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And Wes, I don't think you're here. Roy, are you online today? Okay, I guess not. Oh, whoops. So we need to go back and talk about digital inclusion updates. Cindy, you have other things besides the event coming up in Pima County?
Sure, and I just I just wanted to give Michelle Simon a chance to weigh in on Connect Pima.
Yep.
If she'd like.
Oh, thank you. Just for anybody that doesn't know, Connect Pima is Pima County's Digital Inclusion and Infrastructure Action Plan, and all efforts to that point. Our website is pima.gov/connect-pima. I invite you guys to take a look at the information there. There is details about our Hotspots Around Town program, as well as the efforts going on in our various subcommittees. Cindy is one of the co-chairs and is doing a phenomenal job pulling people together. We are excited about the efforts happening in Pima County, and we would love for you all to participate if you wish. And so there is a link on the webpage as well for that. So thank you, Cindy.
Yeah, and thank you, Michelle. Pima County is doing some great stuff. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is that we know that there are a lot of communities out there now who are getting funding for broadband and so forth. And Pima County is doing a really good job of not only talking about the connectivity, but the digital inclusion piece. And as Michelle indicated, Cindy's leading that piece and doing a phenomenal job. And I would really like for us to begin to look at getting a directory, I don't know if it's a directory or whatever, of all of the different communities who have broadband initiatives going on, and how we can share that, and perhaps for Pima to even share how they even incorporated digital inclusion, because a lot of those broadband plans don't really talk about digital inclusion. And so I would like for us to think about how we can make that happen. So with that, Cindy, you want to talk any more about other things that are going on?
Sure. So the Arizona Digital Inclusion Network, which is part of the Connect Arizona website, as well as AZBSN, we're heavily promoting Digital Inclusion Week right now. We're going to do a web page within the website, the Connect Arizona website, for Digital Inclusion Week. It will have an events calendar, and I will put the link in the chat. If you have something going on that week that isn't necessarily an event that you thought of just for Digital Inclusion Week, you can still put it on there. We're also, because if it's related to Digital Inclusion Week, we just want to have a number of things that we can point to that Arizona is doing. And so you can put that link in the chat, and we're going to take it from there and put it on the National Digital Inclusion Alliance website, so that we get a little more exposure. If anyone wants to attend the ADIN meetings, they're every other Thursday. Like Steve said, there's one on September 8th, and he puts the announcement in his weekly updates. And you can just contact me, email me to get the code for that meeting. Part of Digital Inclusion Week in Tucson, we have a couple things going on. The Digital Inclusion Forum, of course, and then also we have a electronics recycling event going on that same Saturday, and also an event with the Boys and Girls Club that where they're going to be able to take apart a Chromebook and put it back together, or at least see the insides of it, and then take the unit home at the end of the day, which they're very, very excited about. And it sounds like Connect Pima is going to have at least one more listening event. We've had 3 already around the county. It looks like we're going to try and do one in the Flowing Wells neighborhood in October. So October is going to be a big digital inclusion month. And I think that's it. Thank you.
And Cindy's really been leading the charge in getting this, getting things happening here in the for Digital Inclusion Week. So Cindy, thank you for all your work on that. It's and as you heard from Cindy, that there are a lot of other things, obviously some great stuff happening in Pima County, but there's a lot of other things happening that week in other parts of the state. I know Janet's going to be doing some stuff, and so want to make sure that you all, if you have some things that you're planning or you would like to and want to be a part of that discussion, please contact Cindy.
And real quick, Steve, because Erin isn't on this morning, I think she's talked a couple of times about the Digital Equity Institute developing a directory for the state. I think they have something like that underway, and it's supposedly interactive, so that you can self-report the things that people are doing around the state. If they have something, they'll be able to get it up on that directory themselves, which is really good. When you spoke about different broadband strategic planning and things going on across the state, I'm sure that will be part of what she plans to list there.
Yeah, Erin and I are going to try and get together in the next week or two and talk about a number of things. So, but thank you, Cindy. Okay, Elena, I believe you're online, and Drew, I think I saw you. You guys want to talk some more about the awareness campaign you guys got going on?
Yeah. So I'm Drew Garner with Common Sense, working with Elena Lowry. We are on August 15th, we launched our Affordable Connectivity Program Awareness and Enrollment Campaign in partner with the Digital Equity Institute, Aaron, and Arizona State University. I'm pretty sure as of this week, all our ads are live on TV, radio, physical billboards, bus stops, and digital. So as you're driving around, look out, see if you can see the billboards, take pictures. I'd love to see them. And I don't have the metrics right now, but we're generating a fair amount of traffic and calls to the Arizona State University's call center, which is helping to essentially provide a digital navigator service to help people enroll in this program. So our goal, again, is to get this program to the people who need it the most, because currently a lot of it is being used on mobile service, because they're just mobile providers are better at signing people up. We want to make sure it gets to the people who may not have internet at all, and we want to get them good quality internet. Elena pointed out, well, she posted some pictures, but also the mayor, Phoenix mayor, filmed a little video for us that you can see through a link in the chat. So it's nice to have her participation too. So that's our update. Thanks, Steve.
You bet. Okay, and Aaron is not online this morning. So I think we're done with our updates, unless anybody has any other updates that they need to share this morning. Going once, going twice. So as I mentioned, that this meeting is going to be a little bit different. Instead of a presentation, I'm going to be asking some folks to do some quickie updates. And some of you I'm going to pick on, and some of you you can volunteer if you would like. And so I want to start out, Aaron, if I can put you on the line on the spot here, Aaron Ball with the Future of Arizona. We had a great conversation, and they've done a lot. He did a presentation to us several months ago, but they've been growing a lot, hiring some staff and doing some stuff that we had a really good conversation about, and want to look at some ways to participate with them. So Aaron, if I can turn it over to you.
Yes, thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Aaron Ball, Director of College and Career Pathways with the Center for the Future of Arizona. As Steve had said, I presented to this group several months ago. So I'm going to try to be really quick and bring, share quite a bit of information fairly quick.
You just muted, Aaron.
Oh, thank you. Dropped in the chat a link to our Pathways to Prosperity landing page that talks a little bit more in depth about our Pathways to Prosperity work. Just invite you to take a look at that. Gives you an overview of the work that we're doing, grades 6 through 14 plus, in really early college career pathways work. So really our focus isn't necessarily digital inclusion. It's really about helping young people identify career opportunities in high demand fields like IT and cyber related to this group, but in other areas as well. And then work with our community college, high school, middle school partners to really make sure that there's pathways alignment. A couple of the big opportunities that I shared with Steve is really around some pretty extensive, pretty exciting career exploration curriculum that we are delivering across the state in 6th grade through 10th grade. And if you click on the website there under career exploration curriculum, learn more, you'll get a chance to look at the work that we're doing. Gosh, probably 30 plus schools across the state, middle through high school, that are implementing a really robust career exploration curriculum. Part of that is a unit, 2 units, 1 unit around IT, where students actually code an app and really learn about careers in IT. Another unit developed by Arizona State University focused in cybersecurity. So students learn about cybersecurity careers and the like. And then some lessons around skill development, those kinds of things that are associated with that. Connected with that, we also work with our school partners to implement things like virtual externships for educators, so that educators get to hear from industry partners firsthand about career opportunities in these high demand fields, what they should be sharing with their students about career opportunities, how to connect into those. And then also have done some work with virtual internships for students, more of a short-term basis, but again, getting students in front of industry to learn about those career opportunities. One of the other really exciting partnerships we have is with Manny Felix with AZ Cyber Initiative, and supported this summer, as well as hopefully this October, some of the cyber camps that Manny and his team have been putting on for high school age students, where they really, dig into the skills in cyber. They do some work with the virtual cyber warfare range, really start to learn about those career opportunities as well. And so we'll be hopefully working with Manny to put on another one of those sessions here in October during fall break for about 20 to 25 high school students. But just as in a nutshell, as quickly as I can, just a bit about our Pathways work. I would just ask you if you take a look at the site. If there's anything that really strikes your interest, feel free to reach out. I'll drop my email in the chat as well. Ways that you may be able to get connected if you're an industry partner, or want to be able to share with educators about opportunities in these areas, would be really helpful. And then just on a bigger scale within our career exploration work, we have a Department of Ed grant, an ESSER grant, and we've hired 3 project managers in various regions in the state. So Southeast Arizona, Southwest Arizona, Yuma area, Northern Arizona, to really help reach our partners in those communities. And so if you have work in some of those areas where there may be some connections into middle school, high school, those opportunities, again, please feel free to reach out. I know this is really short, and so maybe it's another conversation about ways that we can connect in. So thanks for the time this morning, Steve.
You bet, Aaron. And so Aaron and I, as I mentioned, had a really good conversation, and we're kicking around some ideas, one of which we've had some conversation with this task force before, is how can we use students for tech support and digital inclusion initiatives. Aaron, tell me again, how many schools are you working with right now?
We have about 60 plus K-12 partners throughout the state, middle school, high school, and then of course our community college partners that we're working closely with. But that's growing, almost weekly as we are expanding.
Yeah. So obviously they have a great network around the state, certainly with the schools and communities. And so I think there's some great opportunity for additional partnerships and relationships with Aaron in the future, which is why I wanted him to present this morning. So any questions for Aaron before we move on? So since we've been talking a little bit about cybersecurity, Will, are you still on, and can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, sure.
I know you don't miss a chance to talk, Will.
Gee, okay. We've been having lots of success.
Excuse me, Will, you want to tell people who you are and
yeah,
with Pima College?
My name is Will McCullen. I'm the program manager for the IT Center of Excellence here at Pima Community College, where we have the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range, a student-run data center, and a CSOC, Cyber Security Operations Center, where we're taking in intelligence feeds and working to help train and provide information. So along with that, our enrollment has been going through the roof, which is awesome. We've been having great success in numerous areas, including, thank you, Aaron Ball, for everything that you've helped to provide through elements through Aaron Ball. He has helped provide funding for interns, and those interns have been part of helping to build the data center and the infrastructure. So when we get interns, we put them into play in our student-run data center. So they've been working on projects, everything from Palo Alto firewalls to network infrastructure to Elasticsearch, SIMs, to all sorts of different things. We also had Manny come out and had a session with a class in the range, and that was a lot of fun. Had some really bright students. They're awesome. And the wonderful thing about the range, which is I think is probably a little different than others, is that we can say, hey, go ahead and break it, right? We had some students that were hacking the other students' computers in the midst of the classes. We had one student that had to have his machine reimaged 3 times because he obliterated it a few times. And from our point of view, that's success. They're learning quite a bit. It was a very disruptive environment and they were having a really good time. We had took quite a few students with us to DEF CON, and they had a good time, and also came back pretty inspired because they found themselves teaching to other folks at DEF CON, which was kind of a cool and inspiring element there. Let's see, what else? Just a whole lot of things going on, trying to get ready for possibilities of new and future conferences. Things where we can reach out. Our student club, which has a Discord of over 300 strong, is working well at trying to create events and capture the flags and elements like that, where folks can come by and take part and have a good time. We also have some of our students have helped to open the Tucson Raíces chapter, which is the nationwide Hispanic serving cyber group. And we're starting to make really good strides with that. Our students have worked with them to do some presentations nationwide. And Raíces has been very excited about that. So there's just all sorts of things taking place, and I don't want to take up too much time, but that's a brief glimpse. Does that help?
You bet. Any questions for Will? So I sit on the IT advisory committee with PIMA, and a couple of things that we've had some discussions. They've had other priorities at the moment, but we have had some discussions about how we might be able to develop some kind of a tech support program, and also a recycling project. So those are some things that may come about in the future.
Yes, definitely.
I got a question for Will. Hey, Will, can you speak to how what you're doing there is preparing these kids for potential employment at places like Raytheon that have just a plethora, excuse me, of open recs on cybersecurity positions?
Yeah, we're working very heavily on that. The difficulty has been the college as a whole has been kind of poor at being able to gather information of where students go from here, but we're starting to get a considerable uptick from our partners. I know we have quite a bit of a stream that has gone into IBM. They're starting to work more with Raytheon and local business throughout town. And we're also working with, it's a company through our partners in Phoenix called TD SYNNEX. It's a very large tech distributor, and they're working on creating elements for a program that they call Chris, what is it? Pathways? Passages, that's right. Passages that will also be able to take elements and improve upon some of that education and provide into the job sphere internationally. So there's elements working heavily with that as well. So we're starting to gear up quite a bit. This last semester was our first semester after COVID to where we actually was starting to have a lot more students there and on board. So we're working to improve those pathways and working to open up those doors. But we have employers coming to us fairly regularly now saying, we need people. And a lot of those elements also go directly into our student Discord. So that provides opportunities for students to immediately get a hold of that. But like I said, our difficulty now is working at trying to figure out how to keep track of where those successes are going, and to get that feedback once they get those positions. Does that help?
Kirk?
Huge. Yeah, huge. Sorry, I went and muted myself and then just kept listening. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
So I just want to say that while I know that there are many of the community colleges around the state are doing great stuff, I just happen to be involved with Pima since I live down here. And I got to tell you that Pima College across the board is doing really phenomenal stuff. And then they have this Center of Excellence that Will is involved with. And it's pretty great stuff that they're doing. So I'm really impressed with the activities at Pima.
Well, thank you. And if anyone would like a tour, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to show them around and give them an idea. And if it helps to inspire or it helps to open up possibilities, let me know. We also have the students are finally getting this together where we have a mobile ranged. So we have a server that has, like 128 cores and half a terabyte of RAM. So we can create a virtual infrastructure, and it has its own Wi-Fi. And we have a whole bunch of laptops that we can put in hard containers and take them out and have an instant lab. So that's another area that we're about to explore. So we can reach out to K-12s. We can reach out, take it to like Comic-Cons. Anywhere we need to do some kind of activity. We used it very effectively at the last, help me, Chris. SheTech, at the last SheTech. So, which they held at TCC. So we were able to go there and over there, and so that we could invite in a whole bunch of girls and just start teaching them how to hack with the OWASP Juice Shop. So it's kind of cool. And, we're more than happy to try to start working out to engage that. We also hired through our HSI STEM grant, we now have an outreach coordinator, and we're going to be starting to work to reach out more and more with activities and possibilities. So thank you very much, Steve. Sorry about that. I'll shut up.
No, thanks, Will. Very interesting. So moving on, so Shelby Brown, I know that I don't mean to put you on the spot because I didn't want you to just talk about the work you're doing with the state with E-rate, but you had also talked about a project you're working on the reservation, and I thought maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, maybe find some partners.
Awesome. Sure. Hi, my name is Shelby Brown, and I work with the Arizona Department of Ed. My title is technically called E-rate Coordinator, but I have been working and partnering with the Office of Digital Teaching and Learning. So in terms of E-rate, what I do with E-rate is just help schools get funding for internet connectivity typically, and network equipment. As I've been starting to visit schools just to meet people, I took a keen interest in rural and tribal schools. And as Steve was mentioning, a project that I'm working on is, as I was visiting the tribal schools, I noticed that a lot of them didn't communicate with one another. There was a lack of cohesion. I don't know if they just were so busy. I know they're understaffed and whatnot, but so I kind of initiated a tribal technical roundtable in hopes of getting the tribal schools together to talk about their best practices in terms of technology. So I initiated our first one. Our topic was bringing digital equity to students at home. It went very well. It was very, informational for people, because obviously there's other districts that would like to do the same thing as well. So in addition to my E-rate and that, I do work with Mylan Eaton, which I think a lot of you know, and he's got several projects going in terms of broadband projects and final mile projects. So I help out with items of that nature. And also I work with Kelly in trying to promote and educate people on the Office of Digital Teaching and Learning. And essentially what we're trying to do in that respect is go out and meet the schools, ask the schools what they need help with. While we're there, we see many schools doing many great things in different areas. And, we try to take that information and ask them, hey, can you have a great idea here. You have a great program here. Is that something that you're willing to teach somebody or talk about it at one of our meetings, just to kind of spread the word? And in some instances, we're trying to create like a formal mentor-mentee program with those, so that we can take someone's great concept and try and teach other schools how to do that, to share and promote STEM education. So that's kind of what I do. I think pretty much anything that schools need help with.
Okay, any questions for Shelby? So want to just make a couple of comments. In the past week or so, I had some great conversations with Aaron and Shelby and others. And one thing that became clear, which I think is consistent with what we've been doing with this task force, is that there are a number of folks who I think Shelby could have a great opportunity with Aaron, for example, with Aaron Ball. And so I think there's some ways that we talked about how we can, again, have some sharing, which kind of prompted me to do this session today. But I think there's some real opportunities, and to be able to use some of these resources for digital inclusion and tech support and engaging students in the process. So before we move on, when I was making announcements about events and meetings coming up, that I did not mention the Arizona SciTech Ecosystem STEM and Innovation Summit. And Kirk, you want to talk about that, since you've been a real advocate in working with that group? Kirk, are you there?
Sorry, I had to find the mute button again. Which group, Steve?
The SciTech Ecosystem, I guess they're calling themselves now, the 2022 STEM and Innovation Summit coming up September 27.
Oh, Kelly Greensing, SciTech Institute,
Yes.
Chief Science Officers. Yeah, it's an event. It's their annual AZ STEM and Innovation Summit event. It's done in conjunction with the Arizona Science Center. It's going to be at the Arizona Science Center. And that's kind of where they bring everything together with their big annual event. The 7x24 data center crowd that contributes to that group is also going to have a display there. And Steve, we're going to put AZBSN on our table there also.
Right, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they do presentations, they do Zooms, they've got all the events for the kids, they've got keynote speakers, everything. And I'll see if I can get it in the chat. And I apologize about taking me so long to get back to the mute button, because Zoom just disappears into this tiny little window up in my corner. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I'll get it in the chat here in a couple of seconds.
And I also included it in the announcement of the meeting today. And again, when I send out the update in the next day or so.
Oh, so you have the link in there also? So I don't
do.
need to scramble for it right now?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
You bet. So moving on, Jan Schiller, I believe you were on. Jan, I don't know that we've ever really heard from you. Do you want to tell us about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. Hi, Steve. Hi, everyone. My name is Jan Schiller, and I'm a partner with Berkshire Consulting. And basically, we are specialized in delighting our clients by transforming their strategies into results via project management. Project management is a highly transferable skill, and I'm listening in because that's the type of work that I enjoy in terms of making sure that the results are the ultimate impact on the community and the world around us. I'm really passionate about digital inclusion. And if there's any coordination or management needs in this group or someone that you know, I'm happy to contribute our skills and help people move forward.
Great, thanks, Jan. Actually, I might want to talk with you some more about helping us with the task force and where as we move ahead.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet. So, anybody else want to volunteer now that we've hit some key points? Anybody want to volunteer who they are, what they do?
Hey, Steve, I just have a short one if it's okay.
I was just about to call on you.
Wow, my goodness. Real short, Pima County Workforce Investment Board is
Gotta introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry about that, Vaughn Croft. I'm currently, well, for the last 6 years, I'm the business community liaison at Fred Giacosta Job Corps Center. And prior to that, I was in Pima County School Office for 13 some odd years. And before that, I put a bunch of time in before finishing on state retirement with the Tucson Unified School District. So in my role with the Youth Council of the WIB, the Pima County Workforce Investment Board, we are hosting a Career Expo for pretty much high school age youth, October 26th. I'm just bringing that up because the cybersecurity is going to be presented as one of the career pathways in that expo. And Chris from Eastside Campus, a cybersecurity program, is going to be on site doing a presentation breakout session on the whole topic, their program, and the career opportunities that lie ahead for young people to, if they want to go in that direction. So that's my reason for bringing that up.
Okay, what was that date again?
The date is October 26th. That's a Wednesday. We'll start by bringing our youth on site at 1 p.m. and wrap up around 4 p.m. And it's at the Keno Sports Complex. Well, I'm not saying this correctly. Center, which is the old Y building, actually, at Country Club in Ajo. And that building sits back to the north of the one stop, which is at that corner intersection there.
Okay.
And we've got the flyers out, and we've already got a lot of registrations coming. So we're going to be really full here pretty soon.
And why don't you send us a link if you can?
I can try that.
Okay.
Thanks,
Anybody?
sir.
You bet. Anybody else want to share anything before we end for today? Going once, going twice. Fernando, do you want to say anything? You've been a regular participant here. You want to tell people who you are and what you do? And this will be our last one today unless somebody else wants to present.
Oh, thank you. No, you guys are doing such a great job. No, so we just been pushing the Affordable Connectivity Program.
Excuse me, you want to tell people who you are, please?
Sure. Fernando Roman. I am a campaign lead with the Communication Workers of America. We're a labor organization. And what we've been advocating for in the last few months is getting people connected to the internet. You know, as you guys know, the COVID-19 exposed huge gaps in the internet. So we've been trying to partner up with as many community organizations as possible, let them know about the Affordable Connectivity Program. And we do have an event that we partnered up with the Phoenix council member where she'll be giving out 500 backpacks tomorrow in Phoenix. And we're going to put a Spanish and English version of the Affordable Connectivity Program flyer in that, just to try to help people get connected. We've given those flyers out we met with Governor Lewis of the Gila River Reservation last week. And as far as many state senators, Republican and Democrat, and it still baffles me about the people that aren't aware of the Affordable Connectivity Program. So I think if it wasn't for this group, we would have not as many people connected. So you guys are doing such great work talking about that. We're still advocating on your guys' behalf as well. So.
Great, thank you. Any questions? So Ramon, obviously you probably want to connect with the folks that are doing the ACP promotion campaign, and they have a lot of great materials, website, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was taking some notes. I saw Drew's presentation, which is great. We've talked to Mayor Kate several times. So it's great that he was able to give her a video of that. That's it. Just promoting. There's so many companies. I mean, so many people are unaware of the program. So,
Yeah.
but we as Arizona are way far ahead nationwide. We have states out there with like 20,000 people. So, it's just, we're doing the best that we did this. We talked with the broadband office in the state of Washington, and they have like a 211 service that and so we're trying to get an ad there. So I don't know if we have that with the state of Arizona, to where if somebody dials 211, they can get connected with other departments. So we're trying to get on that. So we're doing some research on that as well. But
Hey, Fernando.
Yes.
This is Drew from Common Sense. We should connect because we have a phone number specifically for ACP enrollment. And we could collaborate on using that. We're using Arizona State University right now, and it does a similar function as the one you were just talking about.
So that's what we've been doing, like nationwide as an organization, just talking to as many people as possible. As a matter of fact, we've been talking with the White House about, we're keeping a Google spreadsheet about how many organizations that we have been working with, because they're still clueless about how many people don't have internet service. So yeah, that's what we've been doing.
So Ramon, can you talk about who's a part of your organization, who you represent, please?
So we represent broadband technicians, call center workers as a whole, with CenturyLink, Lumen, AT&T, Verizon, Frontier, Windstream, a lot of the major telco communication companies. Yeah, and so we have about 700,000 members nationwide, and so that's so we put together, the CWA, the union has put together what we call a broadband brigade, which is because of the COVID, they decided to pick people that were broadband technicians, because we were seeing frontline issues, like as call centers were getting closed and businesses were getting closed. We as broadband technicians were going into homes trying to upgrade services. And that's where we discovered a lot of the gaps, to where, people lost their jobs, people couldn't telemed, kids fell behind in school. One legislator in Utah even said, we just basically think that kids lost 1.5 years of education, especially in lower income communities. So, thank you for a lot of the broadband providers that stepped up to close this gap in Arizona, because it surely didn't happen in the rest of the states. So you guys are doing a phenomenal job here. Yeah.
So Ramon, I don't know if you can tell offhand. I mean, I know you're working with a lot of national organizations, but do you have any information about who you might be working with here in Arizona?
That's been a struggle.
Okay.
Arizona's been a struggle. We are trying to work with CenturyLink, Lumen, to encourage them to apply for some granting, because in a lot of communities, they are the only provider, or Cox would be the only provider. We do not have a relationship with Cox Communications, but we're trying. In other states, we're more successful, especially partnering with AT&T and Verizon and Frontier and Windstream. CenturyLink, Lumen seems to be a challenge. I don't know why, but we're trying to fix that.
Well, just FYI, I'm working with them, hopefully to get them to do a presentation. They haven't really been a part of the task force. And so I'm hoping to get a presentation from them on what they're doing here in Arizona.
It's important that, people on this call that have a relationship with like the big telecommunication companies, that because they have the expertise. I mean, they're already, we want, a lot of people have expertise in that. But we're trying to get some other providers just involved in the system. I know that they have tried, according to them, and didn't receive some grants, like in, I think they were successful in getting some grants, like in Tombstone, maybe Gila Bend, I believe. But with the IIJA funding, I mean, if we're talking $1.3 billion, we want to make sure that no matter who the provider is, that, you know, this gap is going to get closed in Arizona.
Well, I did see on their website that they supposedly are providing a good chunk of money for digital inclusion. I don't know exactly what that means, and I'm working on to connect with them and again, hopefully get a presentation from them, because we really haven't heard from them, and they are, as you say, a major provider here in the state.
I know that I took part in the Arizona Corporation Commission meeting that they had several months ago, and one of their attorneys said that they had 1,600 subscribers on the Affordable Connectivity Program, and I was really surprised that the little amount of customers they had. I mean, because they were major. Out of 200 at that time, it was like 186,000, and they were talking about they had 1,600 participants participating in the Affordable Connectivity Program. So then I immediately started talking with them, and because and I'm not speaking on their behalf, so don't take it that way. I was just, this is what I'm finding, is that it wasn't so easy for consumers to find out how to qualify for the Affordable Connectivity Program and get that implemented with Lumen. And so we're trying to figure that out.
So if you have a contact, and you don't have to do that right now, but if you have a contact that you've been communicating with Lumen here in the state, you might want to, we have a couple people, but you might want to pass that on to me.
Appreciate that. Yep, sure will.
Okay. Any questions for Roman? If not, I think we're done for today. Any other announcements that anybody would like to talk about? If not, hopefully we'll see you guys. No meeting next week because of the holiday. Hopefully we'll see you all on the 8th at the IoT conference. And with that, I think we're done for today. Thank you all. See you in a couple of weeks.